Hey there, welcome to Solkin Homes. My name is Mark. This is a personal blog. Today I'm going to introduce you a little bit into myself and why I'm here in the middle of the jungle and why I believe that what I'm doing is really important. And hopefully I can connect with you in the similar values. So it's not something that I find easy to do. At the same time, I feel the value at the moment for us as individuals that are going through this process, and many of us are going through awakening processes, to shine our light, to reach out to each other and let each other know that and hopefully through that we can find collaboration and walk together on this path that we're moving forward to, an awakening that is taking place. And I wanted to share that experience with you. It's easy to start to kind of just unfold the different, events in my life and talk about all the things that have happened to me. But like most of us, we all, had day jobs and we all do the regular thing, right? So I don't want to get into too much about my past in all the things I did, but I will say that I immigrated to Canada from South Africa in my early 20s, and I studied computer science and Microsoft database engineer, and basically went from there into other aspects of computer development, website development, databases and cryptocurrency, blockchain. So these aspects I've always been interested in them because technologically speaking they hold a lot of value, a lot of power, especially when you identify the correlations to what is freedom, that pursuit of freedom. And that's I'm going to get back into, but that's really the back of my mind, is achieving a state of freedom. So Canada is not the easiest place to immigrate to, and it's never easy to immigrate. If you've ever left your homeland and you go somewhere else and you start over, it's always a challenge. I got involved with all sorts of different types of trades. I did drainage, I did roofing, I did all these things. But at the same time, I was specialized in computer science and simulation, and over a long struggle, I was able to secure a union position at a company in Vancouver that focused on marine training, and I specifically focused on the egress and making sure that those programs run properly. So we were teaching guys, how to evacuate a ship in an emergency of it sinking, and I learned a lot from the shipping industry. It's an amazing industry, and there's so much more to it than just a bunch of guys on a ship moving across the world. So really appreciated that, and I really appreciate that I've been able to experience that corporate world, the professional world, and also at the same time having an experience of awakening of spiritual guidance. And I can tell you today, the only reason why I stand here today is because of the grace of God, the creator of our universe, and through the reasoning, the gift that we've been given of reasoning and being able to discern and be aware of our conscientiousness, right? What are we doing? How are we doing it? So, and I'm asking to be able to communicate today from the heart. I want to be able to connect from the heart here and totally authentic. I'm not there's nothing special. I'm an ugly guy. I'm in my mid-40s, and life is kind of over for me in the sense of, the career path. So I was in a pretty good situation in Vancouver in the sense that I had a lifestyle that was really beautiful. I was an avid cyclist. I would cycle to work every day. I did 30 clicks, and I in the snow, in the rain, I just love cycling. I was able to get married to a beautiful woman, and we were able to have a kid. And that is also something that really changed my life in coming to heed. Like once you become a father, once you become a father figure and you have a certain responsibility for another's life, it changes you. It changes the way you see the world and your responsibilities. And you do dissolve at some stage. You have to give up whatever ambitions to some degree. Absolutely. It is a sacrifice. But I wish I had more kids. But that said, 2001 came around and I was looking around and nothing was going on. Everything was shut down. Economically, things were moving on, but life was different. And it really disturbed me to see how quickly things could just kind of shut down. So we ended up moving from Canada to Mexico. That's where my ex-wife's family resides, and we wanted to be close to family. And so that's what we did. And I worked there we were there for about 6 months. And unfortunately, I won't go into details, but I had to leave the house. My wife asked me to leave and to get a divorce. And I'm still to this day, it's a double-sided edge, being that it was very painful for me to have to let go and move on in life with that. And the way it was done was also very, disruptive for me, that we couldn't actually separate in a way that would still allow us to be friends, still allow us to get to know each other and be part of our lives, and allow me to be part of my son's life. I haven't seen my son in 4 years now, and I ended up just being out in the wild in Mexico. At that stage, my Spanish was there was no Spanish. I had zero ability to communicate in Spanish. But I was able to kind of crawl my way out, and I was able then to meet the right people. Before this, I have to put this in context. Before this, the thing that saved my ass was that I got involved with a course from Richard Grove, and I got involved with his course called Autonomy. And this is my one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because we do need funding for this project, and I'm gonna be just promoting some of the things that I think are really valuable that's helped me in my life. One of them is this course from Richard Grove, and it allowed me to get into a network of individuals that were seeking something more than what they had, and they were entrepreneurs, and we were brainstorming. We were in a hive mind, kind of like let's figure this out, and there's that unity that developed there. And so that carried me right through this process of moving from Canada to Mexico, being able to find the support I needed. And at that stage, I was involved with the project, I still am, with community development. I try to build community development in Canada, but it's just too cold, it's expensive, and basically it's dangerous. Very difficult to set up a community unless you got a lot of funding. So Mexico, one of the reasons why I was attracted to this area is because you can get food easily, there's lots of water here, it's easy to build something, life is just easier. It's uncomfortable though because to the ecological, the biosphere here, but we'll get into that later on. So I was able to then lean on my network with Richard Grove's Autonomy course and opened up these ideas to lining up my actions with the purpose I felt is driving me. And I was then able to connect with some of the mentors there and learn more about the disability that we have in connecting as humans on a much higher level. And this is part of the awakening. Today, as we are engaging in these mediums, as YouTube, or if it's now online or whatever, this is becoming the new standard. It won't take long, and many of us will be having relations with bots, that we don't even know they're bots, right? That's happening, where we're falling in love with machines, right? And yet we're becoming more isolated, even though we're more connected than ever. You've heard that a million times already, right? So this is totally the opposite of that. This is trying to get away from this position of having to connect, through this medium. It's wonderful, great, we connect through YouTube or whatever the case may be, but it's never going to be as good as connecting real to real life. We can sit down and we can have contact, look at each other in the eye, feel each other's breath, feel each other's emotion. You're only getting a fraction of my communication through this little machine, right? So I'm grateful for that, but it's never going to replace real human to human contact. And that is really what the cause of this is to establish again a community where we are in union of common sense, right? And that's what I'm all about here. So getting that common sense back, guys, like the common sense aspect we've lost that totally. But we all know that already. Getting back to my story, I ended up then I went to Acapulco for a couple of months and a year or so, and then I ended up coming back to the Yucatán Peninsula, and I ended up meeting someone that was in a position of also making a change. They were done with doing things the way it is, a 9-to-5 kind of thing, looking for something different. And through that process, we were able to then find land, and we've got lots of land that we want to work with. And we on this project now, where we are developing a community, where we're inviting people to come and join us, and trying to support each other as much as we can. And at right this moment, it's all about creating income, right? So we've used a lot of the funding we had, and the donations have dwindled a lot. So over the last 2 years, majority of NGOs and that kind of thing are showing a reduction of 80% of donations. No jokes, look at the economy, look at how expensive things are, so I don't blame that. But hopefully through doing this channel, we can get a little bit of income, even $10, $15 a day makes a huge difference for us. So that's why I'm doing this, right, is because hopefully it appeals, and like I said, connecting, shining my light here so that those who do resonate with this message and feel that there is something deeper in it will be able to connect with me because they can see I'm here. I'm hoping to do this at least once a day, so that keeps us in the loop, and I want to end up walking with you on a path where we can actually share our experiences together. So through that process now we're here, and there's many foundations to it, and I'm going to go through a little bit of the theory, right, on what I've learned from breaking away, from letting go, resigning from my position in Canada, living without a lot of wealth, living without a lot of money, and how rewarding it's been, the synchronicities that come along with that, and the pain. And that's all part of the growth. That's all part of the beauty about pushing ourselves outside of our comfort. So I hope you find this valuable. I hope you come along with me on the journey, and I'm going to make a commitment to be here every day. So thank you. God bless. Have a good one.